Today we ask, while there are times we've felt when you live abroad, not just in London or in UK, but anywhere else, there are times when you really want to be Indian in the new atmosphere, in the new country, in this foreign land. But here there is a sort of a silent revolution that's happening where people who are Indian at heart and otherwise are trying to move and give away this culture to the country they belong to or they live in. And how is that possible? In fact, a very, very novel idea of having Mahabharat in Britain. Let's go across to you. How is it, how is it that you are able to, or how is it that you will be able to give a bit of Indian culture to the British?
Hi. Our culture is very rich, like it's got a very great history, and I always thought that I'm going to do something that these people could know what our culture is. And I used to teach Hindi, and I did so many plays like Mahabharata, and children, most of the children were white children. They used to dress up in there, and they used...
Who played Lord Ram?
Rama, who played Lord Ram?
Was it a white child?
It was a white child, yeah. And the Sita was white as well. They never knew the language, but so I used to write the script in English, and they used to, like, Hindi script in English, and they used to say, and they used to perform, like, and people loved it. And their parents used to come, and this way we just trying to tell other people what our culture is. Like,
do they say their dialogues in
Hindi, reading the English script?
Lovely.
Like how are you, like, let's say, kaise hain, so K-A-I-S-E, kaise hain, so they can read, and then with expressions, like when the fighting scene came, they were doing like this. So that was really good, and I was very happy that at least they should know what our culture is.
Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? Because it's not just important to understand or to connect with your own culture here, but also to give a little bit of India to a foreign land, and particularly here, given we have the Mahatma statue here, we have Rabindranath Tagore's statue here. What are your efforts?
We are planning to install Basveshwara statue here, and by that way, because he wanted to introduce casteless society and equality for men and women, that's what we want to make that recognition.
How long have you been making this effort?
For last 5 years now.
For 5 years now. It would be something, isn't it, to have a Basveshwara statue here in London. He's in fact not very famous even in many parts of India. Basveshwara was did belong to Karnataka and more popular, I think,
Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh.
Andhra Pradesh, mostly south.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody will know now. I mean, people will know now.
By the way, will know who he was. You are also trying to get. By the way, what was the response to Mahabharat by the folks here?
After Mahabharat, I did Ramayana as well, and we did Champa Chameli, giving Indian morals and everything through drama. So it's a lovely platform, drama and everything.
Well received.
Well received, yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. Let me bring in the two of you. Can I first ask you, do you understand Indian culture completely, having been born here?
I mean, I think it's different for everyone. So I went to India a few years ago, and that was my first time I experienced Indian culture. It's quite full on. It's very different to what you're brought up here with. But I think you just need to be there, embrace it. But again, I think it's different for everyone.
Sure, it's a personal thing, isn't it? And what are the efforts that you would try to make to give a little bit of India here?
Yeah, so at National Hindi Students Forum UK, we work around most universities in the country at campus level. And we really try to engage with the student community and the local samaj, so Hindi students, Indian students, and also non-Indians who don't really know about our culture. So every year we have a Hindu Awareness Week, and that it works with other faiths as well, trying to promote all faiths and how they're connected, promote Hinduism to students on campus, people who don't necessarily know about it.
Sure.
And I think Hinduism
but this is across faiths as well.
Exactly. So it's at the same time as the NUS is Interfaith Week. So we work with all the other religious societies.
You're also trying to educate, or rather make people aware about different cultures?
Exactly. So,
or is it Indian mainly?
So I was obviously Hindu Awareness Week, but it's also how we link to the other Indian religions, Eastern religions, and also thinking about how Western religions work and other religions work as well.
Excellent.
And how it brings together.
She mentioned about the Ramayana, the Mahabharata being played by kids from here to an Indian and a mixed audience. Students, they say, have the biggest power when it comes to any campaign, when it comes to changes being made. What is it that students like yourself can do?
I mean, so we are based at 55 universities at the moment, and our main thing, we create a home away from home. So as soon as students come into uni, they experience us for the first time. And then through that, they kind of work with the samaj, they do good work, right? It starts from learning, serve activities, all sorts.
And all being well received.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, we've got a membership of over 4,000, and
In
we
how
connect.
much time? Membership of 4,000?
We've been here for nearly 25 years now.
Right.
So it's a long time. Yeah.
It's a long time, and membership of 4,000 and hopefully growing.
I mean, it's what it is. So once uni students then leave university, they then move on to other organisations.
Right.
So we have a network
it's like
of
a chain effect.
80,000 people almost. So it's a big network.
That's a good
Yeah.
number for a country like UK. So it is a chain network, and isn't it very, very beautiful and commendable, the effort, where you're not just trying to get back to India, you're not just trying to, the times when you miss home, you don't just go back to your own community, your own friends, your own kitty parties where you connect with each other and share the laddus, but you're also trying to share this with the rest of the world. On this very special episode of Out of England, this is such an inspiring thought, and hopefully more of such plays from the younger kids you're training. Excellent. We come to you from a very, very important part of London. Of course, it's central London, but from where I am standing at the moment, I can see Trafalgar Square, I can see London Eye, I can also perhaps walk to the Westminster, to the Parliament Square, all the important places, the Big Ben, all of these places where on any given day, at any given time between 10 and 6, you find a minimum of about 50,000 tourists, and that's the kind of tourism that Britain really enjoys. And on this episode, we want to ask, what are those 2 lessons that India and Indian tourism could learn from here? Not, of course, to discount the fact that India, given its size, given its sheer culture and heritage, has that much more to be proud of, and perhaps deserves that much more tourism, isn't it? With me is someone who's worked in the industry closely for several years. Let's start with you. What is it that you think is so well displayed over here that people come here to?
I think it shows that the British people are very proud of their history, and whether you're a politician or just the local, we all are very proud of London, and we like to boast about it. I do feel that if you look around now, we've got loads of buses where the tourists can have a good view, which is open to not only if you're on, when you go to India, if you go on a tour, you have to stick with the tour. These are open to a variety of people that are visiting.
Well, that's an important point, that perhaps the facilities are there for the tourists. Maybe India could, maybe how about an open top bus in India? Maybe a city like Hyderabad, where you can drive down to the Charminar, you can see the Charminar and also make around at Golconda, perhaps.
Yeah,
perhaps.
and they've got an advantage because they'll have better weather than we have over here. And if we can manage it over here, I'm sure they can manage it in India.
Oh, sure. Yes.
I think they should probably spend a bit more money like they do here. Like for example today.
What's happening? Yes. What is it that you would need investment for? Should there be more investment into technology to tell the story of, let's say, a Taj Mahal? Should there be technology used, or more manpower, or creativity used to tell that story?
I think it needs a mixture of a lot of things: technology, information to people from abroad coming into India, who may, will probably want to see those things but don't realise they're there to be seen, to be.
Sure. More information and have those information points. Yes, very important point. What's so different, British tourism and Indian tourism?
The infrastructure of the transport system is fantastic here, so people can get by quite easy. There's lots of different things to do. The cleanliness of the streets and the way that we accept tourism is something that's good for us.
It's easier to get a license in India than a bike, perhaps.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Also, we encourage tourists from lots of different countries with the cost of the visas and the cost of coming to here, and open up for all times of the year, really.
Cost of visas, and isn't that quite some revenue for a country like the UK? And maybe India could learn that. Surely, very interesting point made. Yes.
Yeah, and I think generally everyone should be a bit more enthusiastic about promoting their country, and definitely the cleanliness, especially the toilets. Yeah, I think the cleanliness is quite important, because I think that puts me off visiting India with little children.
Sure.
And just be a bit more proud of the architecture, because India's got some beautiful architecture, which is not really promoted.
Oh yes, particularly when it comes to monument, but not to, of course, discount the factor that Indians are very, very, very proud indeed of their culture and heritage. But perhaps there are some things that India does it very, very well too. What do you think are the lessons that a country like the UK could learn from Indian tourism?
Oh, it's very exotic, very colourful.
Oh, yes.
Unlike the English, we're very loud. The Indians are very loud, very interacting with people, very friendly.
Yes.
And we will, the Indian people do tend to mix and be very welcoming when you get there, whereas maybe sometimes around here,
Yes.
the English are more reserved.
Yes.
So we Indians are more, should we say, friendlier?
More friendly and warm.
Yeah, very, very warm.
Don't you agree?
Yeah.
Absolutely. One lesson that that India could give.
Lesson that India could give is to be more open to other cultures.
Oh,
Maybe
yes.
from lots of different other countries could come down to India.
Because I think, yeah, that's India. India's just so very accommodating. Very accommodating.
Yes, and it's a very enterprising country.
Yes.
The food's great, but I think they've shared that already, isn't it?
Sure, the curries are all over, indeed. So, some very, very interesting points indeed made. The things that perhaps India could learn is try and use technology, try and invest into telling a story that much better, like it is done in several other parts. Like, for example, the Anne Frank Museum is just so well done in Amsterdam, in Netherlands. Maybe those aspects could be learnt from. The cleanliness could be made better. The public transport system could be made better. And of course, the fact that let there be just that much more openness, perhaps. Yeah.
I do also think in England they do cater a lot for the children, whereas in India most of the historical sites are based on the older travellers than the children.
Yes.
So I do think that maybe they should do
that sensitivity aspect.
and it would welcome more families coming to India, because it is.
When was the last time you did a holiday in India?
Well, we are going in February, so we're going to Goa, where we come from, and we're taking our daughter to show her the culture. So we did go last time 6 years ago.
Okay. Okay, and what a better place to go back to India to Goa, and no wonder they have such beautiful lessons in tourism, given that's the place.
Yes, definitely. The beaches are beautiful,
Yes.
and even the historical bit around Goa is lovely.
Olden and southern Goa.
Yes,
is just,
yeah. Old Goa, where
Yes.
the cathedrals and the old churches are. So it is a beautiful destination that would also be good for younger tourists.
Absolutely, and that's the beauty, isn't it? Because there's a Goa in India, there is a Kerala where you have just that beautiful greenery, then you have something like a Karnataka where the maximum number of tigers are as compared to any other state, and then you have a Delhi and the Delhi Triangle where of course the monuments, the Red Forts, the Taj and the gorgeous forts of Jaipur and Rajasthan are. So the variety is something that's incomparable. Perhaps a few lessons that it could learn from here and there, maybe a few tips that it could maybe add to its beauty, could bring in that much more revenue. And very nicely put by them, there are many things that Britain too, or maybe the UK too, could learn from India as well when it comes to tourism.